Hello, this is the Friday Soccer Paycheck here on Deep End Broadcasting. I am your host, Stephen Murray. It is shortly after 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast, 4:05 to be exactly. We're getting in here just a couple of minutes late as we are playing around in the new studio. We have lots of new happenings in here. And no music for that matter. And we actually will come to you commercial free today. So no commercials, no nothing, just all soccer gambling with me for the next 30 to 45 minutes anyway. Now that we don't have any breaks or any music I can try to entertain you with or show that we have a real network going on here, then we can go cut right to the chase and get right into all the soccer action. So yeah, basically we got a new computer, number 2, for our audio coming in. Of course, the audio sounds just as scratchy as the old computer. So, and we have new cables as well. In fact, a brand new dedicated cable for this. I think I'm just going to have to not trust this brand. Although the reviews are great, I don't think this is doing me any justice. I'm going to have to go to the old Guitar Center, I believe, to try to get this situation squared away. So the technical difficulties have been a ton of fun. Let me tell you that. All that being said, we got all kinds of new stuff around here. We can do the 2-camera action on Sundays. Got a lot more graphics already. Been working hard up for the Round Robin, which is our football show that airs Sunday morning, 6 a.m. live, Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast. That is your first look at the NFL action and the NFL slate for that day. So we have a lot more stuff to play with from week 1 going into week 8. I would say we've taken a big step forward as far as trying to learn the technological side of things and try to make this at least semi-professional. Now, I have a little stream dock with buttons. I could do the fan laughing right now. We just don't have all that stuff quite set up. I didn't think I would. Most of everything got here today, and we're implementing the new stuff as we speak. That's why we had to come on just a minute or two late. Okay, so let's go through the games this weekend. Let me go ahead, now that I know we're actually recording and on the air. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck, and we're going to go ahead and look at the table here. Look at this, the English Premier League table. Look at that. We have graphics. Now, I got to find like a better background than this blue. We need to come up with a beach theme. Stuff like that is all stuff I'm still trying to learn. But if you want to follow along in a smaller print, of course, maybe we need to get our fonts a little bit corrected here. But you know what? It's like I said, it's baby steps here. So we look at the top of the table. Arsenal is on the top. They've actually dropped a couple of points because of their draw last time out via Southampton 1-1 last Sunday. So Arsenal, they sit at the top of the table with 28 points. Man City is right there in second place with 26. Tottenham trails them at 23. And then Newcastle has found their way into the top 4 with 21 points, although Chelsea's right there, and Chelsea has one more game to play. Newcastle has played 12 games. Tottenham has as well, for that matter. Arsenal and Man City, they had a game canceled because of their extracurricular activities, the Champions League and the Europa League. So the game against each other was canceled. They'll have to make that one up down the road as well. Man United, they're still a nice story at 6th place with 20 points. Fulham, over top half of the table. That is a team who was promoted last year from the English Championship. Fulham, they're in very nice form as well with 2 wins in a row. And they have 18 points. They're ahead of Liverpool. If you remember that great match the first week, that was one of the more exciting matches of the season so far. That draw with Liverpool. Liverpool with just 11 games. They've won 4. They've lost 4. They've lost 3, and they've drawn 4. So Interesting start for Liverpool. Very inconsistent. They've won. They're 2-2-1 in their last 5. They sit at 16 points, 8th place in the table. Brighton, they've run into a round of bad form where they were in tremendous form here for a while. They've lost 3 of their last 5 and have 2 draws. They are 15 points achieved so far. So they trail Arsenal by 13 and a top 4 spot by 8 points. And they're actually, now that you get to this low, you can start to sense that nobody is safe. Now, West Ham, they've been playing a lot better. They're 3-1-1. They haven't blown the doors off anyone. They haven't scored still a lot. They've only have 12 goals on the season. They've allowed 14, but West Ham has climbed up from towards the bottom of the table. They are now in 10th. Brentford, they've been inconsistent. They have 14 points on the year. They've scored 21 goals, allowed 14. Everton, they've been scrappy, but they are 2 and 3 losses in their last 5. 13 points for Everton, 12th spot. Actually, all these teams are going to share the same spot. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, they have 13 points as well. Let's see here. Bournemouth allowing 25 goals on the season. That is by far, well, not by far, but that is most of the English Premier League. Aston Villa, Southampton, and Leicester are your next 3 spots right above the relegation zone. The best team with form right there is Leicester. They were at the bottom of the table, but they are 3-1-1 in their last 5 out. They have 11 points. And Leeds, the Wolves, and Nottingham Forest sit there at the bottom. All right, so that's our table, and we can get right into games. Why not? As always, we got to look at weather for the weekend in the UK. It looks like when I looked at everything initially yesterday when I was doing show prep, we were looking at more rain in the forecast for over there in the United Kingdom. So let's see if we can get a Actually, Saturday doesn't look too bad. It looks like we're pretty much going to be in the clear for Saturday. Any rain's going to happen overnight on Friday night. So that will, it's not like they don't water down these pitches anyway. They just won't have to do that now. And with decent temperatures as well, it's going to be 70 degrees and nice weather. Here we go. We're going to look for opportunities to score some goals. We haven't gotten there yet. We fell flat on our face last week. If you want us to admit our faults, we do that. But that is the name of the game. We're going to play the same strategy. We're not going to change. And we know that the dominoes are going to fall our way. And when they do, it is going to be worth it. We are looking for the minimum investment for the maximum profit. And we're going to look to do that with soccer, which gives us tremendous payouts, where we had a very successful season last year. We look to do that again this season. We've had one nice payout here midweek last week. So we've, I can't say we're maybe a little bit in the hole since we've been playing since day one in soccer after that payout. But it's to be expected. You're not going to get the goals in September, October. You kind of hope maybe you trend the opposite that way. And if you do, you're going to get the big payouts that we're looking for. It hasn't quite happened yet. All these extra games with the Champions League, Europa League, and, of course, the World Cup coming up. Players maybe, I can't say sandbagging it, but maybe not going as hard as they could. The goals just don't seem to be going in one way or another for most of the teams right now. Let's see here. The first game on the board is Man City at Leicester, and of course there is lots of opportunity for goals on this side. Leicester, if we pull them back up on the table, actually let me get you off the table. You'll need to look at that. Here we go. Table Everworth. Make sure I spell that right. Did I spell that right? Looks like it. Okay. I'll be in the rush. I was probably typing that at 4 p.m. exactly. So Man City at Leicester is the 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time game. That's the first game on the board for the EPL for the weekend. Right now, Man City sits as a minus 350 road favorite. Leicester is plus 850 at home. And if you think there can be a draw, is plus 500. Now, we talked about Leicester's recent form, and Man City, I can't say that they've necessarily been blowing it away on their end. Let's see here. Well, they've won 4 out of their last 5. They do have 36 goals. I guess I'm looking at that one loss that they had here just a couple games back. So that loss came at the hands of Man United, actually. So good on their part for Man U. All right. Goals. Looking for away goals for Man City. So that's going to be our first angle for sure. So we're going to look at away team goals. And to get to 3, they're plus 104. You would think that they would definitely get to 3 against Leicester. You think they would definitely get to 4. Now, plus 290 to get over 3.5 goals for Man City. I would say that's a pretty juicy price. Now, they didn't score any goals in their Champions League game, 0-0. I don't know if they're a fatigued team at this point. You got to assume so. There's been a lot of soccer games, but this is the risk we're going to have to take. Hopefully that they're going to put everything together. But a 290 for over 3.5 goals, that's a nice look. I think to get the 5 goals at plus 750, that's realistic as well. Leicester can get a goal. I don't even know if they'll have possession enough to get 2 goals. Leicester City, as far as a home team, to get over 1.5 goals is plus 350. So that's not too bad. They have the capability to put it in the net. If you think that they can perform at home at plus 350 and Leicester is your choice, maybe the sneaky 7:30 a.m. play, then maybe that's the route you want to take. Let's look at Man City on the alt lines and the spreads real quick. Man City at minus 2 goals is only plus 210. So I think if we're going to go for over goals for Man City, away team goals, over minus 2 as plus 210. Figure Leicester gets there anyway with a goal. So just to get the 4 goals is plus 290. That's a better payout than that spread. So that's the better option, away team over 3.5 for Man City and Leicester. As far as goal scorers go, our boy Haaland is minus 180 for anytime goal. De Bruyne's plus 190. Let's look at 2 more goals. I want to say that John Cancelo is going to be due. He's been getting his foot on the ball, which he usually does in a lot of games. 75-1, where there's going to be a game with a lot of goals. Cancelo could definitely be a consideration in the back line. James Maddison, he's the penalty shooter too for Leicester. James Maddison at 44-1 to get 2 goals. That might be worth the stat too, because he has the capability to put it in the net and open field play. And maybe if there is a cheap penalty, he's going to be the one taking the kick. So at 44-1, James Maddison, I would like that as well. Kevin De Bruyne, he's due for goals. He's been trying to get them, actually. He's been shooting a lot more lately. 10-1 for him. Jamie Vardy, he's yet to get on the board, but 14-1 for 2 goals for him. Patson Daka, he's having a nice season. 19-1 for 2 goals for him. All right, so it's going to be Man City goals. I think you see value on the Man City goals away, at least over 3.5 or 2.5 or 3.5. So I will go that route. And our next game on the board. See, the beauty of at least this is I can edit on the fly. Got the exclamation mark instead of the dollar. So we'll go ahead and put that back on. See, isn't this fun? Tottenham at Bournemouth. Bournemouth, the supposed doormat of the English Premier League for this season, but they have not been that way yet, although where they were mid-table, they now start to find their way towards the bottom of the table. They only have 1 win in their last 5. They've drawn twice, lost twice. Tottenham, though, has not been able to gain any ground on the top leaders. They have 3 losses with only 2 wins, and their top 5 Tottenham with just 23 goals on the year. That's going to be more than most of the characters out there, for sure. That's still going to be about third in the league. But they've given up 14, and there are definitely teams who've given up less than that for sure. So they've given up maybe one or two more goals than they're liking. Bournemouth, they have conceded 25 times and only scored 10. That is not exactly a recipe. You don't need this. You don't need this show to tell you that that's not a recipe for success. Just 10 goals and 25 losses. So in that game here, 10 o'clock. Tottenham. Where did you go, Tottenham? Oh, there you go. Tottenham and Bournemouth, 10 o'clock. Tottenham is minus 150 right now, plus 410 for Bournemouth. Right now, I'm going to tell you before we even get to them, we're not going to get any money for these goal scorers for Tottenham. Those prices continue to be down. Oh, maybe, hopefully, they get better. I mean, Son hasn't scored. You would think this is a game Tottenham can romp. So if we're going to look at another angle, we're going to have to do it again. Over/under goals for Tottenham, who is the away team. Away team over 2.5 goals is plus 280. That's fair for sure. I think you can pop on that. Plus 630 for over 3.5 goals. I think I'm going to take a shot at that at some point coming up. First half over 1.5 goals is plus 192. Maybe plus 710 at over 2.5 goals. I may take a shot at. But I think a plus 680 for over away team over 3 goals. Away team over 3.5 is plus 800. Yeah. So I think that's the better deal just overall if you're just going to play. Don't play a half, play Tottenham goals. If you think that they can rack them up against Bournemouth, which the stats say that they should, and they are on that do list. I mean, who's not on a do list to get goals at this point? Let's just be honest there too. Tottenham -1 is plus 195. I can see that as a decent cover for sure. And then on the alternate spread, -2 at plus 500. I think you're going to just find value in the away goals for Tottenham, to be honest. So I would go that route. We talked about the goal scorers. To score 2 or more goals, Harry Kane's 5-1. Son Heung-min is 6-1. Lucas Moore 15-1. I can't do that. Dominic Solanke, if you think that he's a nice player for Bournemouth, if you think that they have a chance to get a couple of goals, maybe it's Solanke, but I don't know. I don't think you can trust that completely. No goal props here. Son at 6-1. I mean, maybe. Kane at 5-1. I guess maybe. Harry Kane to get a hat trick. I mean, he can always do that. 24-1 for that. Son is 35-1 to get a hat trick for Tottenham. I think it's an away goal fiesta. As a whole, now if they're going to be a fiesta of goals, chances are Kane and Son will get a bulk of that. But we'll just go ahead and trust the efforts of the team total away team over 3.5, 2.5, 4.5 goals if we get crazy. All right. Southampton and Crystal Palace. Well, I know there's no 2 H's there, so let's get that squared away. Wrong one. Production, editing on the fly. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty 100% positive. But there are no 2 H's in Southampton, which is different from West Hampton because that is 2 words. Yeah, Southampton, 1 word. Crystal Palace is the -110 home favorites against Southampton plus 300. Crystal Palace is, if we go ahead and look back at what we have going on the table, Crystal Palace recent form is 2-2-1. They lost their last time out, though. Southampton, they haven't lost in their last 3. They have 2 draws and a win, so they're playing better. They've given up 19 goals on the lead on the year, but they've only scored 11. That's been their biggest issue. Crystal Palace, not much better, just scoring 12, and they've given up 16. So what will budge here? Crystal Palace always seems to play much better at home than they do on the road. You would think just because of this opponent in Southampton that they are lower on the table, that they would have a chance to beat them up here. But it's not like Crystal Palace is that far up the table from Southampton. I mean, literally just a point up. So this is the battle of 13th and 16th place. And the loser, depending on what Leicester City does, well, you can probably think that they lose. But Leeds has a good chance to get out of the bottom this week. Maybe they have the best chance. I don't know. Maybe none of these teams do. You might see all these bottom teams sitting right here at the bottom at the end of the day. But Crystal Palace, if we're going to look at some kind of advantage for them, I don't think we can lay a spread. I feel like Southampton can always score a goal. That's the thing. But Crystal Palace -1 is plus 270. And 2 or more goals is, and Southampton did score against Arsenal. And the alternate spread here in this game is plus 750 to win by 3. I don't think you can take any kind of route there. If I was looking at anything here, maybe I would look at Southampton away goals. To get the 2 goals for Southampton is plus 265. Crystal Palace is a team that gives you that possession a lot. So Southampton will have the ball. Maybe that's going to be an opportunity for them. Man, can Southampton even get the 3? That's asking a lot. 9-1 odds for that to happen. The home team for Crystal Palace, if you want them to get to 3 goals, is just plus 360. That's tough sledding to get there, plus 108 just to get to 2 goals. I think I would rather take a chance on Southampton, to be honest. I think overall I would leave this game off the table. I don't think we're going to get any prolific goal scoring here. I think one player, though, if you're going to rely on a Southampton goal, one player, Shea Adams at plus 310. I feel like he could get it into the net. If Southampton can get on the board. So maybe just plus 310 for him. Even if they get 2, that's a good chance. Eze is plus 360. Zaha is at plus 185 for 2 goals. Zaha again at plus 950. He just never gets 2 goals. Eze would be my chance for 2 goals, maybe 26-1 for Crystal Palace. There's going to be a day where he gets 2 goals, and we're going to be saying that we told each other that. I think overall this game will go ahead and, for the most part, just leave it alone, though. We'll go ahead to get to the next game on the table as I'm running out of graphic time. But we have Aston Villa at Newcastle. This is a 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Aston Villa, they have been, they look like crap. They fired their manager, and then they won a game in blowout fashion. So that's what it takes, I guess, to get a win, is just get rid of the manager. But 12 points for Aston Villa on the year. They string a couple of wins together. They can find themselves literally in the top half of the table. So a lot to play for if you're in this position of the table like Aston Villa is. Steven Gerrard got the boot, and that turned on the scoring. Apparently, they get 3 goals in their last time out. They've given up 16 goals on the year. Their biggest problem is Newcastle's in great form. Newcastle has won 4 out of the last 5 with a draw in there. So no losses by Newcastle in the last 5. They've climbed all the way up to 21 points. They have 5 wins, 6 draws, and a loss. Maybe 1 too many draws earlier in the year. They were the draw specialists. It seemed like they were for a point. But they've turned those draws into win, and Newcastle is rolling. They're a minus 130 favorite over Aston Villa, who is plus 360. I think on this angle, you just look for Newcastle goals. Aston Villa may have been excited that they've got rid of their manager, but this is a buzzsaw in Newcastle. If I'm going to look at home team goals, it may be just an over goals for everyone combined, since Aston Villa is playing better. But home team over 2.5 goals is plus 285. About the same number that we like with Tottenham and Man City. Yeah, maybe. Let's see what the over 3.5 goals is. Overall is at plus 225. If you think that Aston Villa can get involved. If we get the home team over 3.5, I don't think they can get to 4 goals by themselves. Plus 830, Aston Villa does have some decent defense at least. Plus 830 for 4 goals for Newcastle. I don't think we can recommend that. Away goals for Aston Villa. If you think that they can continue their hot streak just of a game, just to get to 2 goals for Aston Villa is plus 250. That might be worth a shot. But, man, I've been on that Aston Villa over 1.5 goals way too many times coming up with a loss for my liking. 250, plus 250 maybe. At over 4.5 combined goals, what do we get for that? Plus 560 for over 4.5 goals for Newcastle and Aston Villa. Maybe. There's a lot to think of on all sides there. We'll just leave those options for you if this is a game you want to get involved in. I think there can be goals either way for sure, though. We'll give that. Here we go, the old 1-1 draw. But there actually could be potential for both teams. Aston Villa playing better. Just their last time out after firing their manager, and Newcastle was just a buzzsaw at home. Newcastle -1 plus 210. I think Newcastle actually might dominate this game. And plus 550 for -2 for Newcastle. That's probably not enough. I would feel comfortable with Newcastle over 2.5 home goals, though. Let's see. Goal scorers for this game. Any 2 goal scorers, anytime goal scorer. Off the board right now. I don't see it. Let's see if it's on this page. Here we go. Off the main page for some reason. We're gonna have a Chris Wood sighting in the lineup. I want to see St. Maximum get 2 goals at 18-1. I think there's a shot for that. Danny Ings, he scored his last time out, so he's rounding into good form. Plus 1,900 for him for 2 goals. Ollie Watkins is plus 1,900, but that never seems to happen. Joe Wilcock is plus 2,300. Felipe Coutinho plus 2,100. I think there's goals in this game. Don't know if it's the best play on the board, but if it's going to be an over or an under, I would lean over for sure. This is a game that could go over or under. And every time you want Chelsea to go over, they do go under, and they've been on that streak. So we have Chelsea and Brighton. Even I forget. So Chelsea is at Brighton. Chelsea is the 5th place team in the table. They've won 3 out of their last 5, 2 draws, so no losses in there. And Brighton has lost 3 of their last 5 with 2 draws. So you would think automatically that this is a Chelsea game, but Brighton still has 15 goals in their 11 games, although they haven't scored lately. They can be potent and can put the ball into the net. Chelsea has 16 goals. If we're going to take a shot with an over, it's going to have to be on this game as well. If we're going to think of multiple leg overs for the EPL, we can't leave this one out. I think an over 3.5 for both teams at plus 270 is a fair price. I would tend to want to go that route, and I could even see them getting to 4.5 goals at plus 700 for over 4.5 goals. So I think that might be my big game hunter shot right there on that one. As far as team goals go, let's see if there's anything better for that. Home team Brighton over 1.5. That's the thing. I don't know who's going to get the 3rd or who's going to have the 3 or the 2, but I trust that there will be 5. Brighton at plus 186 for 2 and plus 630 for 3. Away team Chelsea plus 142 for 1 and plus 480 for 3. I think I would just go trust that over 4.5 goals if we're going to look for that. And there's any number of goal scorers here for sure. This could be a two-player, 2-goal scoring scenario. Raheem Sterling, you can always look at him at 19-1. I'm going to trust him more than anyone else on this list. Mason Mount is 29-1. Leonardo Trossard is 33-1. Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to hop a Trossard 33-1 because he is quite capable of scoring. He has a deadly shot. So at 33-1 for Trossard. Man, so the Trossard is Sterling same game parlay. If you think that they can both score 2 goals each, $10 pays 8,773 on that prop. And you could even twist that around. Maybe Trossard for 1 and Sterling for 1. If you want to do that, that's going to pay. That's going to pay good. 10 to win 9,000 and $1,906. And as far as Trossard to score 1 and Sterling to get 2, that's going to be about the same price. A lot less, actually. Just 1,253 for Sterling to get 2 and Trossard to get 1. So Trossard is way big, the underdog, to get 2 goals to Sterling, which I don't think that is actually the case. I would think he might actually be the favorite over that. So goal scorer opportunities with big payouts galore in the Chelsea-Brighton game. See, I'd rather trust that with those numbers than Harry Kane and Son at 6 or 7-1. So that's just going to be a bigger payout when this kind of thing hits. It's not like these guys won't get 2 goals again. Can they just get it today? Let's see. What is our next game? And I'm going to have to make the banner. It is as I editing, as I become the producer. Wolves and Brentford. See? How bad was that? The pause button when we get that situated in the new studio. The studio is blowing my mind away. I'm going to have to mess with some of this later for sure. It should be easy to play audio into a soundboard. Literally, I mean, what the... but this cable, apparently, this brand of cable stinks. All right, so Wolves at Brentford. What do we have here? I thought I was on a roll with a quick, easy hookup, but no. Shitty cables. Brentford and the Wolves. Brentford is plus 115, and the Wolves are plus 230. Over, under. The Wolves never go over. Why are we talking over, under with the Wolves, Steve? Are you crazy? Over, under 3.5 is only plus 250. Man, that just smells fishy as hell. You would think it'd be a bigger payout, considering the Wolves do not score goals. The Wolves so far on the table this year, just 5 goals scored, and they've conceded 18. That is bad. Brentford, they are mid-table, just about exactly. They have done much better. They've scored 18, but they have allowed 21. We said if there's a recipe for the Wolves to score last week, it was going to be against Leicester. If there's a real recipe for the Wolves to score, then it's definitely going to be against Brentford this week. Can the Wolves score? That is the question. Well, let's look at their angle first, because we're going to take a stab that eventually these guys can score more than 1 or 2 goals, or any goals for that fact. The Wolves to get over 3 goals is plus 680. So you're just going to find better plays on the board. With a Man City, or the Tottenham at plus 260 to get, over 3.5 goals or whatever. I mean, that's going to, whatever we were talking about there, that's going to be much better. Over 1.5 for the Wolves is plus 200. That might be something I might look into just on a straight bet. I don't know if I would like to stick that into a round robin parlay. Brentford, I don't know how much trust I can have in them. The Wolves play good defense. Brentford to get 3 goals is plus 420. I'm just going to look at a weird Wolves angle or nothing in this game, which it doesn't look like there's much of a payout. A very low over under a 3.5. To get to 4.5 goals is plus 660. To get over 4.5 goals, I don't know. I think this is just one to stay away from. It's hard to go screaming for goals in the Wolves game. One, when no one's been scoring. But two, especially with them. I mean, they are terrible as far as trying to get the ball into the net. So, I don't know. Well, I think we'll just go ahead and give a hard pass on that one. So, we'll go back into our studios again here. And we have a 12 o'clock kickoff. We have 2 teams that have been playing better. Hopefully I'll spell them right real quick on the fly. Fulham at Everton at 1:02 Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and correct that. Production on the fly, people. Time to play the producer. This is a 12 o'clock game, or 12:30 game, I believe. So we'll go ahead and put 12:30 up there. PM Eastern Standard Time. You know, it's not 12:30. That can just sit up there, but I'm pretty sure that it is. 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Fulham plus 130. The draw is plus 240. And Everton is paying plus 210. Everton is playing better lately. Can they hold up their end of the bargain and get goals? They're not a prolific goal-scoring team like my boys Fulham are. Fulham, in this scenario, this could be a game where Fulham wins by the spread. Let's look at that first. Fulham at -1 is plus 380. That's an attractive number to beat Everton by 2 goals. I think that could definitely happen. And to win by 3 goals is plus 950. I think that could happen as well. Home team over 2.5 goals is plus 390 for Fulham, which is just about a -1. So if you think Everton can score 1, you're better off betting the home team over 2.5 because you'd have to cover that -1 anyway. So plus 390 for Fulham over 2.5 home goals. Plus 114 for 1.5. First half Fulham over 1.5 goals. Plus 168. That's not going to do it for me. I mean, I might as well just do the game if that's what I'm going to do. So that looks nice. Oh, Everton, who we say have been playing better, plus 500 for over 3 goals. Over 1.5 goals is plus 146. I don't know. It's going to be Fulham home goals or nothing for me. I think a total of 4.5. Can it be 4-1 or 3-2 at plus 490? I don't think so. I think your best bet on the board by far is Fulham over 2.5 goals at plus 390. So that's the route we'll lead there. And if they're going to get that many goals, then you know who's going to score them. Alexander Mitrovic, who is a El Cheapo, very Harry Kane-like, plus 490 for 2 goals. Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Everton. He scored a goal last week, plus 900 for him for 2 goals. I don't think I can trust anyone for 2 goals in this one. I would just, at least not for the price that Mitrovic is paying for 2 goals. I would go Fulham home goals at plus 390 for sure. So that sounds like a much better one to me. Man, usually we have a break by now, but we haven't. And we have afternoon soccer, actually, on Saturday afternoon. 2:45 kickoff. We have Leeds at Liverpool. Leeds at Liverpool. 2:45 Eastern Standard Time. I need the button with the claps, with the applause, the clapping. I have it. It's here. It all came today. Let's see if we can get this the new Studio 2.0 just halfway through our NFL football season debut. Man, can you believe that? Week 8 in the NFL already. This is going to be our 8th show. Yeah, so growing the studio and a lot more stuff to come. All right, Leeds and Liverpool. As we get to this, Liverpool minus 350. They lost their last time out. Plus 800 underdog Leeds, and the plus 500 is the draw. Nottingham Forest, the beaters of Liverpool last time out. They'll get a tough draw. We'll talk about them next, as we have Sunday afternoon action, Sunday morning action, depending where you are in this world. This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck. I am Stephen Murray, your host. So Liverpool hosting Leeds. I've been staying away from Liverpool games. I've been staying away from Leeds games. What makes me think I want to take overs anywhere? Over 3.5 is plus 100 in this game alone. That's enough to choke me off of that for sure. Over 5.5 goals, which I don't trust either of these teams to make that happen, is just plus 235. Not a good price at all. Liverpool, Leeds is in terrible form. They are in horrific form. Leeds, they have lost 4 in a row, and they drew in their 5th. Liverpool, 2-2-1 in their last 5. Leeds, they've only allowed 13 goals, and they've allowed 18 while scoring 13. Liverpool has scored 22, but it's those 13 that they have allowed that have been the nuisance goals. You got to remember, 9 of those were in the Bournemouth game. So if you take that away, then they're right even 500, and their record reflects that too, with the 4-3-4 record for Liverpool. So anytime goal scorer, you can always look at Mo Salah minus 135, or to get 2 goals or more, Mo Salah is only plus 330. I like Leandro Trossard a lot better at 32 to 1 odds than I do right there. Oh man, why do you gotta do that to me, sportsbook? This sportsbook is starting to tee me off a little bit here. I don't want to mention your name. Let's see. Liverpool and basically, I just don't see anything there with Liverpool and Leeds. I mean, that's going to be a complete pass. 2:45 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday. We'll be on to college football at that point of the afternoon. Best to be assured, there will be no climb out of the whole game for soccer, at least there. Let's go to the Sunday morning game. And just bear with me again for 1 second. This team, Arsenal, the first place team of this team, the first place team has another home game after a home game last week. Why do you want to do that to me? Where they drew Southampton. So Arsenal will look to get better redemption than their last time out. Last weekend, as I'm the producer, Sunday afternoon kickoff for, there we go, whatever, uppercase Eastern Standard Time. Nottingham Forest and Arsenal. See, you could have waited 5 extra minutes while I did this, but I just figured it'd be funnier on the air. I only have to do it one more time, really, maybe twice. I won't do it for the championship, trust me. Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, minus 550 for Arsenal and plus 1,400 for the Dogs, Nottingham Forest. Forest covered the plus 1,000 payoff last week out against Liverpool. So they are riding into good form. And Arsenal, a very sluggish 1-1 draw with Southampton. So let's look at the spread first. -2, Arsenal plus 160. Wolf, -1 is still -185. The goal opportunity, why wouldn't you try Nottingham Forest for 2 goals, to be honest? If we're going to try to do something crazy here. Away team, it's not like Arsenal completely dominates possession either. If you think Nottingham Forest can get to 2 goals, plus 600 for that. Shoot, if you think you can get to 3 goals, you get paid 20 to 1. If you want to take a long shot on that, I might have to do like a little 5-game little parlay on that and throw that in there. Arsenal, the home team, and you can bet this, but that's a good lesson to know. You can bet home team and away team goals. So home team, instead of betting an over-under, the home team, Arsenal, to get plus 260 over 3.5 goals. I think I would just look more Nottingham Forest. Arsenal starting to get overpriced and everything. Maybe a combined goals, 4.5 is only plus 330. I mean, I don't know. I would maybe take a short stab at a plus 600 for, I might be even undervaluing that again. Away team, plus 600 over 1.5 goals. What's the first half away team over 1.5 goals? It's freaky stuff like that does happen. 25 to 1 for Nottingham Forest to get 2 goals in the first half against Arsenal. You're talking about a team who has confidence from beating Liverpool, and Arsenal does look a little sluggish with all their extracurricular play still happening. As far as goal scorers, though, and the beauty about Nottingham Forest is you don't have to worry about them winning or losing if you take that kind of bet. It's literally, can they just get those goals, win or lose or draw? So that's a nice little incentive on that maybe. Bukayo Saka is 6 to 1. I like Martinelli at plus 650, although that seems pretty low. Granit Xhaka is at plus 4,300. That might be something to look at. Anyone for Forest I'd be looking at? Not really. That's going to be a collaborative effort if they get two goals at plus 600. But I think we're going to take a shot on that, actually. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest over 1.5 goals at plus 600. See, I need to be writing this down for the recap. I should be pretty close to remembering. But, you know, I'm not giving you my picks. Y'all should be making your own decisions on some of this stuff. We're just going to look for a nice, sunny, warm day, which it should be tomorrow. And hopefully these balls begin to find the back of the net big time, which when the floodgates open, they will open. I guarantee you that. When the floodgates open, they definitely open. All right, so we're going to do, this should be the last time. All right, that'll be good enough. All right, next game. Last EPL game. West Ham at Man U. That is a 12:45 Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Again, we have NFL coming up. West Ham is playing better. Man U has been great, but they've basically have offered Cristiano Ronaldo's contract to whoever will take it. No one will want it. Is he even in the lineup? Let's see if we have a Ronaldo on the anytime scorer list. He is up there. He's a favorite at minus 105. So Ronaldo will make his way back into the lineup for Man U against West Ham. As far as this game goes, I don't like to trust West Ham to score me goals. This could be a 1-1, 2-1 type of game. I just have that feel all the way around. At over 3.5 goals, it's just plus 205. Over 4.5 goals, it's plus 520. Can Man U get 3 goals at home? That would be the only thing I might look at here. I don't even want to look at that. But at plus 250 for Man U, just to get 3 goals at home, I'll pass on that. West Ham, is there a shot with them at over 1.5? Let's see. 1.5 goals plus 255 for West Ham. That's not the worst payout in the world, considering they've been playing better. 9-1 odds. That's not too bad, actually. If you think West Ham can get 3 goals at 9-1 odds, that's a pretty hefty payout. Win, lose, or draw for them. They have the capability. They've, like I said, a little bit better here as of late as they've climbed out of the bottom of the table. They've won 3 of their last 5 with a draw. Man U 2-2-1 in that stretch, but their loss came 5 games ago. 16-16 for goals scored and against for Man U. And West Ham 11-12. If you think West Ham's due for some more goals, then maybe that right there. So we'll go ahead and review some plays later on. Let's go ahead and look at the championship table real quick, and then we'll go through the games just kind of briefly, and we'll get you guys off the air. So we've been going 52 minutes straight, babbling with no script. Pretty good. Burnley, they are the hot team. They are number 1 at the top of the table. 4 wins in their last 5. QPR, they actually lost today, so they have a loss. They're going to slip potentially in the standings. If Blackburn can win, they have 30 points on the table. Swansea's all the way up to 4th. 4 out of the last 5 wins for Swansea. They have 27 points. Sheffield United starting to drop off. 26 points for them. They've lost 3 out of their last 5. Millwall has won 4 out of 5 with 26 points. They're all the way up to 6th place. Norwich City, who is at top of the table, they've lost 4 out of their 5 games. Wow, a lot of streakiness here in the English Championship. Norwich with 25 points, losers of 4 of 5. Reading, they've lost 3 out of their last 5 with a win and a draw. They are in 8th place with 25 points. Luton has been 2 wins, a loss, and 2 draws for them, 24 points. 23 points for both Watford and Birmingham, both playing inconsistent. Rotherham, 22 points, inconsistent. These are, when I say inconsistent, it's literally 2-1-2 or 2-2-1 or something like that. Preston, inconsistent. They're up to 11 goals on the season, which is still actually they're trying to crawl out of the gutter against Cardiff. Cardiff can't score either, but they've only given up 14 points or 14 goals. So they have some defense, Preston. That's kept them in games and at mid-table. Bristol City, inconsistent as of late. Sunderland, inconsistent, but losers of the last 3 of the last 4. Hull has won 2 in a row with 20 points. Stoke, all the way down. They were playing well, but they've lost 2 in a row. 19 points for Stoke in 17th place. Blackpool, inconsistent. Losers of 3 in a row is Wigan Athletic in 19th place. Losers of 3 in a row is Cardiff City. Middlesbrough, 2-1. Coventry, 3 goals for them. 3 wins out of their last 5. Remember, they are the team, Coventry, who had a bunch of games canceled earlier in the year. So they still have 2 to 3 makeup games each, at least. They've only played 14 times. So they have ground to make up with 17 points. A couple of wins in that makeup, and that puts them mid-table for sure. Right now, they reside in the bottom of 3 with West Brom and Huddersfield, respectively. West Brom losers of 2 in a row. Huddersfield losers 2 of their last 3. They both each have conceded 22 goals. Hull City has conceded the most goals, 31. So keep that in mind as we go. And the higher scoring teams are Burnley right now with 30, QPR with 25, although they're playing not as great lately, or with a loss today anyway. Sheffield, 26. Don't tell me I was getting the wrong score here. Sorry, I got a little interesting. Okay, yeah. Birmingham beat QPR today. So that is Birmingham with a win in the books. They haven't reflect that in the table quite yet, what I'm looking at. Okay, so let's just get the games. Let's see what we got. So English Championship. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity here. I say that all the time, right? Let's get away from... No. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to open up the championship menu here. And they're not cooperating. All leagues. Here we go. Of course. Why would anything want to cooperate? First game, Saturday morning, 7 o'clock a.m. Swansea at Bristol. Swansea is plus 195. You can always look at Swansea goals. And I'll probably take a look at that. They're due for a lighted up scenario as well. So Swansea to get over 3 goals is at plus 520. We'll take a look at that. Sheffield is at West Brom. That is a 7:30 game. Sheffield plus 240, West Brom 115. We'll pass on that. Preston plus 170 against Middlesbrough plus 175. May look at Middlesbrough goals. If we look at that real quick, away goals for Middlesbrough. And 3 is going to be the key number, people. I'm not going to settle for anything less than 3. So, and I'll tell you if it's going to be team or individual, but individual Middlesbrough goals plus 680 for over 2.5. You're going to be able to talk me into that, I think, for sure. Preston's due to get blown up on for sure, I think. Burnley and Reading. Can there be goals here? Burnley says there always can be. Plus 225 over 3.5. And over 4.5 in the Burnley game. I don't think I want anything to do with this, though. I haven't been playing Burnley. This is the time they will lose if I hop on. Plus 580 to get the 5 goals for Burnley. And graphic change, playing producer. So I'll pass on that. Cardiff and Rotherham, they haven't played well. We'll just pass on that game. Coventry and Blackpool. Coventry, I want to see them get some goals. They have motivation to climb the table. They are at the bottom. They have the makeup games in hand. Home team goals for Coventry over 2.5 is plus 340. Maybe not quite enough as a payout you would get on the road team. I'm not going to look at Blackpool for over 2.5. But Coventry at over 2.5 plus 340, I may look at that. Luton and Sunderland, I would look at a collaborative effort of goals. So over 4.5 for Luton Town and Sunderland. They both show that they can score through the season. And a plus 790 to get the 5 goals, I would be willing to take a shot on that, actually. Huddersfield and Millwall. Millwall is the much better team here. Huddersfield's at the bottom. I would look for goals for Millwall for sure. Away team goals for Millwall to get to 3 goals is plus 560. You're going to be able to talk me into that all day. Scrolling down, Wigan and Watford, I'll pass on that one. Watford does nothing good for me. Norwich and Stoke, I could see this being a sneaky over game. Over 3.5 is plus 240. I would, again, look for a collaborative effort on these teams. I wouldn't look for an individual achievement to get goals. Plus 630, they get 5.5 goals. Maybe better plays, but we'll keep that one in mind. Hull, they've allowed a lot of goals, and they're playing Blackburn. Blackburn is on fire. They are the away team. So we'll look at that angle first. Plus 680 for Blackburn to get 3 goals against Hull, who gives up a lot of goals. So we're going to take a look at that angle at plus 680. Over 4.5 goals is plus 820. Oh, man, I think plus 310 to get the 4 goals. You'll probably talk me into that, actually, on a play. So over 3.5 goals at plus 310. And then Blackburn away over 2.5 goals at plus 680. Wow, that's like my favorite play on the board, to be honest. Hull is very leaky in defense, and we're going to definitely lock in Blackburn on that, and we're going to take a look at that over. And that's all the games for Saturday. Okay, great. I feel like that's a short slate. I guess that's everyone. Okay, so championship pick recap first, and we'll go ahead and get you out of here. We'll look at Swansea away team goals over 2.5 at a nice payout. We'll look at Middlesbrough away team goals over 2.5 for a nice payout. We'll look at Coventry over 2.5 home team goals at a nice payout. We'll look for Luton Town and Sunderland over 3.5 or 4.5 goals for them two teams combined for a nice payout. Oh, man, you got to be kidding me. And there goes the book again. And then we're going to take a look at Blackburn. That's my favorite one on the board. Blackburn away goals plus 680. And we'll take a look at over 3.5 in that game as well. As far as the Premier League, we're going to take Man City away team goals. We'll go for over 3.5 for them at a nice little price. We're going to go with Tottenham away team goals. A nice little payout for them to get to 3 goals. We might even look at 4 goals for Tottenham. We're going to look at Newcastle goals against Aston Villa. And we're actually going to look at over goals too. I think at over 4.5, I think that gets us there. To be honest, at plus 560, I think we'll take a look at Aston Villa and Newcastle over goals. I think I like the Brighton and Chelsea one a little bit better at over 4.5 though. So that's going to be more of the primary play here when I'm mixing these guys all up. Plus 700 for Brighton and Chelsea to get to 5 goals. Fulham over goals at home over 2.5. And we're going to take a shot with Nottingham Forest on the underdog roll at plus 600 to get to just 2 goals there. And we may take a stab at West Ham. If we really are on a roll, we'll go ahead and throw West Ham over 2.5 goals. If we seem to have a very overish type of winning day, we'll take West Ham over 2.5 goals as well. Okay, that's your Friday Soccer Paycheck. Full menu is complete. Hope you learned something as I did. We want to thank you for listening. This is the Friday Soccer Paycheck on the Deep End Broadcasting Network. Coming up Sunday morning, live 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Round Robin hosted by me with nephew Dave, Dave Del Grande. Ants will be in studio. It's our Halloween party that day. So we'll be getting fired up for that. And what the puck is going on, Nephew Dave's hockey show, Monday night, 6 p.m. Tune in for that. So we're out of here. Enjoy it. Let's get the studio in prime condition, guys. All right, good luck on your bets.